Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Shodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, um, Canto 10, Chapter 82, Text 39. And I'd like to share my screen if possible, so I can pull up the verse, so everyone can see. There we are.
We can see it.
Yes, clear?
Yeah.
Shri Shukavacha Gopyascha Krishnam Apalabhya Cheradavishtam Yat Prekshane Drishishu Pakshma Kritam Shapanti Drigbhir Hidi Kritamalam Parirabhya Sarvas Tadbhavamapurapi Nitya Yujam Durapam. Go over the word for word. Gopya. You can repeat after me or just say it along with me. The young coward woman, Cha, and Krishna, Upalabhya, sighting, Chirat, after a long time, Abhishtam, their object of desire, Yat, whom, Prekshane, while seeing, Drishishu, on their eyes, Pakshma, of lids, Kritam, the maker, Shapanti, they would curse, Drikbihi, with their eyes, Hridikritam, taken into their hearts, Alam, to their satisfaction, Parirabhya, embracing, Sarvaha, all of them, Tat, in him, Bhavam, ecstatic absorption, Apu, attained, Api, even though, Nitya, constantly, Yujam, for those who engage in yogic discipline, Durapam, difficult to attain. Translation: Shukadev Goswami said, while gazing at their beloved Krishna, the young gopis used to condemn the creator of their eyelids, which would momentarily block their vision of him. Now, seeing Krishna again after such a long separation, with their eyes, they took him into their hearts and they embraced him to their full satisfaction. In this way, they become totally absorbed in ecstatic meditation on him. Although those who constantly practice mystic yoga find such absorption difficult to achieve. Purport. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, just then Lord Balarama saw the gopis standing a short distance away. Seeing them trembling with eagerness to meet Krishna and apparently ready to give up their lives if they could not, he tactfully decided to get up and involve himself elsewhere. Then the gopis attained the state described in the current verse. In referring to the gopis' intolerant respect of Lord Brahma, the creator of eyelids, Shukadev Goswami is giving vent to his own subtle jealousy of the gopis' favored position. Srila Jiva Goswami offers an alternate understanding of the phrase Nijajujam, which means even of the Lord's principal queens, who tend to be proud of their constant association with him. So it said that they achieved, and seeing with Krishna, they achieved an ecstatic absorption, which is difficult to attain, durapam, by nitya jujam. So nitya jujam refers to yogis who constantly endeavoring to be absorbed in meditation on Krishna. But it could also mean it's even difficult to attain, actually even impossible to attain by Krishna's principal queens who are Nitya Yujam, who are always Yujam connected or associated with him. They cannot even attain that kind of absorption, ecstatic absorption, which the gopis exhibited here. In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada writes, because they had been separated from Krishna for so many years, the gopis, having come along with Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, felt intense ecstasy in seeing Krishna. No one can even imagine how anxious the gopis were to see Krishna again. As soon as Krishna became visible to them, they took him inside their hearts, through their eyes, and embraced him to their full satisfaction. Even though they were embracing Krishna only mentally, they became so ecstatic and overwhelmed with joy that for the time being, they completely forgot themselves. The ecstatic trance which they achieved simply by mentally embracing Krishna is impossible to achieve even for great yogis, constantly engaged in meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna could understand that the gopis were wrapped in ecstasy by embracing him in their minds, and therefore, since he's present in everyone's heart, he also reciprocated the embracing from within. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So I want to pray for the blessings of all the devotees present here, especially senior devotees. Adi Prabhu and Arjuna Prabhu is here. I see also Narayani Dasi. Um, many other senior devotees present here. So please bless me. I can speak. It's a very exalted verse, actually. Um, it's almost difficult to know where to begin and where to end on speaking on this verse, but I'll try my best with your kindness. So, Krishna and the Yadus, they are at Kurukshetra, and we just have heard about what did we just hear about in the previous verses? Anyone remembers?
Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj sat Krishna and Balaram on their laps.
Yes. So first we hear about the reunion of Yashoda and Nanda and their ecstatic mood of parental love, which defied all formality. And Krishna, this time, is a big king. What do? They just sit them on their lap and bathe them with their tears in pure parental affection. But now the gopis have appeared, and so they're seeing Krishna from a distance. And Balaram, this Vishnu Chakravarti is explaining, Balaram is seeing them approaching, and he said, "Oh, okay, I, now I, it's time for me to give them this private moment with Krishna." So then, um, in the next few verses, we'll see how Krishna will engage with the gopis. But this is their first, this description of their first seeing him after a very long time. It says Chirat, after a long time. Um, so we'll go a little bit over what's in the verse. So the verse really describes um, see how I yes. So the verse really describes how what is their mood, what are they experiencing. So we know the gopis have been separated from Krishna for decades by this time, and um, and it's not that they've forgotten him. Like we usually, after we've been separated for something or someone for a very long time, it's not that we just forget. We tend to forget about them, but the gopis had not forgotten about Krishna for even a single moment, even half a second. Krishna did not leave their minds and hearts. And not only that, they were constantly crying, constantly longing for Krishna to come back, to again see Krishna, to again be with him. So it is said, upalabhya, they seeing Krishna, chirat, after a long time they're seeing Krishna. And the chirat is also going with abhishtam. Whose Krishna is the object of their desire. Chirat, for a very long time. they were desiring to see him. So they did not see him after a long time, but they did desire to see him for a very long time. Uh, and yet prekshane, while they're seeing Krishna, Drishishu, uh, in their eyes, uh, they and they would curse Shapanti, their eyelids. And there's another very beautiful verse. It's from the Gopi Gita, where the gopis sing to Krishna in separation during the rasa dance pastime. So this is a very exalted part of the Srimad Bhagavatam, also really describing the hate of the gopis' love expressed by them personally in this song, the Gopi Gita. So one of the verses reads as follows. It's a beautiful verse, and we'll sing it. Artati yadbhavan ahnikananam Truti jugayate tvam apasyatam Kutila Shri Mukham chate Jado dikshatam pakshmakridrisham. So the gopis say, when you go off to the forest during the day, a tiny fraction of a second becomes like a millennium for us because we cannot see you. And even when we can eagerly look upon your beautiful face, when Krishna comes back from the forest, gopis are all waiting to see him. So when we can eagerly look upon your beautiful face, so lovely, which is with its adornment of curly locks, our pleasure is hindered by our eyelids, which were fashioned by the foolish Creator. So this is the bhava. This is the ecstatic absorption of the gopis expressed here. When Krishna goes to the forest, when they cannot see him, a tiny fraction, it says truti. Truti is the smallest, I think it's the smallest measurement of time, if I'm not mistaken. It's something like the sun passing over an atom. It's described in the Bhagavatam, in the calculation of time from the atom. I forgot the exact details, but it's like it's described here as 1/1700 of a second. Yugayate, that becomes like a millennium to them because they're not seeing Krishna. And when they do see Krishna, that that's blink of an eye, which is like I think a little bit longer than a truti. That's a nimesha. That's also a measurement of time. That appears like that appears also like a millennium to them. So we that's why Srila Prabhupada he writes here in the Krishna book commenting on this. It's very um, it's very hard to understand this mood of the gopis. No, he says, no one can even imagine how anxious the gopis were to see Krishna again. We cannot quite understand this ecstatic absorption they have, that they curse the creator of the eyelid for being so foolish to create eyelids by which hinders them from seeing Krishna for even a fraction of a moment. Because why? We read that just in that other verse. That appears like a very long time to them. Dhruti Jugayate. So, but now they're seeing Krishna after, and one can imagine, like, if such a short time is such a big deal to them, what about this decades and decades and decades of not seeing Krishna? It's like we can't quite understand the eagerness they were feeling to see Krishna. It's described here that uh, that that Lord Balaram saw the gopis standing a short distance away, and he saw them trembling with eagerness to meet Krishna, and apparently ready to give up their lives if they could not. So, yeah, from these descriptions, we get a sense. I can't quite comprehend it, but from these descriptions, from speaking about this, from hearing about this, we it creates some impression in our minds of how attracted the gopis are to Krishna, how attached they are to him. And from that, we can also understand, which is very significant for us, how truly attractive Lord Krishna is. And that if someone's actually fully awakened to their love for Krishna, fully awakened to Krishna consciousness, mm, Krishna becomes the sole object of attraction, and nothing else can distract them. So we get a sense how attractive Krishna really is, and that we need to hear. Because sometimes we're not always that attracted to Krishna, so we can't quite understand the gopis, but at least we can appreciate what they're experiencing to some extent. Even if it's a fraction, we can understand. And it can spur some desire in us to also feel that kind of longing and that kind of attraction to Krishna. So, and then it's described that, and this becomes the subject of so much of the Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that it says, Drigbhi Hridhi Kritam. So they, with their eyes, they're drinking that beautiful form of Krishna, beautiful lotus eyes, that swarthy color like a monsoon cloud, and that beautiful form, finely shaped, and every feature, every aspect of his form is just so overwhelmingly beautiful and attractive. So they seeing that form finally after such a long, long time, and they just drink that form with their eyes and ridikritam, take that form in their deep, in the very core of their hearts, and parirabhya, they embrace him there. Because on Kurukshetra, Krishna is dressed like a king, and this describes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are elephants there are horses, there are so many other Yadu kings and princes, and Krishna's parents are there. So the gopis cannot quite, in that situation, they cannot fully express their love externally. They just, of course, they would want to run to him and embrace him, but they cannot. So they drink Krishna's form within their eyes. They take him through their eyes in their hearts, and they embrace him there. Uh, so, and the absorption, they at that time they were not conscious of anything else. None of their bodies, none of their surroundings. They were just embracing Krishna within their hearts. They were fully with Krishna. And also we hear from Srila Prabhupada, gives his own unique insight here, that Krishna also fully reciprocated with them and entered within their hearts and embraced them there. So they had the full experience. It was not just like a meditation, like they were visualizing something. No, they were fully being with Krishna and feeling his embrace. So that kind of absorption, full samadhi, where nothing else matters. We read, for example, about the samadhi of a great yogi and devotee of Samika Rishi, who was sitting in samadhi, meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his heart, and Parikshit comes in, and he asks for some water. But the rishi is so deeply absorbed in samadhi, he's not aware anymore of his body and the external surroundings. So he ignores, at least that what Parikshit felt, that he was ignored by this rishi. But actually he was in samadhi, so he just didn't hear it. He didn't hear anything. He was not externally aware. So this is a great state of samadhi, and that's very, very difficult to achieve. We are also nitya-jam. We're also constantly endeavoring to remember Krishna, and we sit down with our japa and we trying to focus our mind, and it's so difficult. It's so difficult to attain durapam, to attain absorption in Krishna. But they attained the kind of absorption which is almost impossible to achieve, even by great yogis. Um, that kind of absorption in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Um, in another sense, even though a yogi may be fully absorbed, still it's incomparable to the gopis, because the gopis were absorbed in ecstatic, it says ecstatic absorption. They were absorbed in a type of love which is so intense that there's no comparison to that. There's no comparison. Krishna actually himself describes the Uddhava in the 11th canto, chapter 12 of the Bhagavatam. I highly recommend this. It's to read this. 11, 12, 10, and it's a few verses. I think it's about 4 verses, where Krishna himself glorifies the gopis as his greatest devotees, and he urges Uddhava to follow their path. Now, Uddhava is like the greatest devotee in whole of Dwarka. So by instructing Uddhava this way, he's saying, declaring to the whole world that this is the path to follow. The gopis are my most exalted devotees. And Lord Chaitanya also taught this, that Vrajesh Chaitanya, he's the Lord, the son of Nanda Maharaj. He's our worshipable Lord. His abode is Vrindavan. And the path to attain him, the best path to attain him, is the path shown by the gopis, of that intense absorption and love. So, and Krishna, Lord Krishna there describes, again, that describing their absorption. What is that absorption like? So he says, all the nights they spend with me. And we hear from our acharyas when the gopis would spend the night with Krishna. Actually, that night, because Lord is the controller of time, that night becomes like a day of Brahma. That becomes 4.3 billion years. But that night, a night that would pass for them like a moment. And uh, vice versa, Krishna says, a single moment without me. And we've heard about this, the Truti. A single moment not seeing me appeared to them like a day of Brahma. So in this way, they were undergoing great distress, being absent from Krishna, being absent from Vrindavan. And they suffered great anxiety and great mental distress of not seeing Krishna, which we understand is the greatest ecstasy, because in their longing, they're always remembering Krishna and being with him fully. So we hear about the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, which very much follows this pastime. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, who really wants to understand the mood of the gopis. This mood described in this verse, what they're experiencing here, that in particular, he really wanted to experience. Uh, that mood of being absent from him for so long and then seeing him again. So Lord Chaitanya, he uh, he of course, first he was the great scholar, and then he met his spiritual master Ishvara Puri, and he received initiation and received the Krishna mantra. And then Krishna, he saw Krishna, is described. After his initiation, Krishna appeared to him. And then from then on, it was just madness. From then on, Lord Chaitanya was just searching for Krishna. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? That was his constant mood. And in that mood, he also took sannyas to search out Krishna. Does anyone remember where Lord Chaitanya wanted to go when he took sannyas? Yeah, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. And what happened then?
Nityananda
His
Prabhu had
mother
They
begged
tricked
him
him
not
into
to.
thinking he did go, but he didn't.
Yes, he was tricked by Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda taught some coward boys like, hey, just tell him that this is the path to Vrindavan. And then, there was the path along the Ganges. And then Lord Nityananda taught Lord Chaitanya, here's the Yamuna. And Lord Chaitanya became ecstatic and he jumped into the Yamuna. And he is in the Yamuna and feeling like in Vrindavan. And then suddenly Advaita Acharya appeared in a boat. And then Lord said, what are you doing here? I thought I was in Vrindavan. And then Lord Advaita Acharya said, like, Lord, wherever you are, there is Vrindavan, because your mood is Vrindavan, your bhava, your search for Krishna. That is actually Vrindavan. That's the mood of the gopis. So, and then they took him to Advaita Acharya's home, that big festival, met Sachimanta, and then Sachimanta requested him to stay in Jagannath Puri. So after 10 days of festival, then they went to Jagannath Puri. So, and they visited a few temples on the way. So finally, Lord Chaitanya kind of goes ahead of his party, and he comes into Jagannath Puri, and he goes to the Jagannath temple. And he enters the Jagannath temple. And then he sees Lord Jagannath. And what does he do then? Does anyone remember what happens next?
They fall into an ecstatic state.
He wants to do something first. And that's very remember, Lord Jagannath is the form of Krishna in Dwarka and great opulence, and he's in the mood of
He wants to clean the temple?
no,
Not
no.
yet.
He sees Lord Jagannath. What does he want to do?
Embrace him, maybe?
Yes, yes, Gail. He runs towards Lord Jagannath, wanting to embrace him, and then he faints in ecstasy. So then the rest of his life in Puri, Lord Chaitanya, he stands, where does he stand?
By the Stamba?
Yes, by the stamba. Why does he stand there?
Don't remember. I don't remember why he stands there.
I've never been to the Jagannath temple, but it's quite far away from Jagannath. So he stands there because he
He's
felt
still in
like
separation. No?
he feels it's like first time I entered, I wanted to embrace Lord Jagannath, but I can't do that. He can't do that in this space. Like so then he restrains himself. He's just standing there from a distance, like the gopis are standing, seeing Krishna from a distance, embracing Lord Jagannath in his heart. And seeing him, when Lord Chaitanya looks at Lord Jagannath, he's not seeing just that form, he's seeing Shama Sundar playing the flute. And he's taking and he's praying. And we read at the end of this chapter, it's a very important shloka. I pray that the devotee speaks on that verse, who will speak on that verse, really gives us a full explanation. It's the very last verse of this chapter, where he says, my mind is Vrindavan. So, Lord, I want to take you home in my heart. I want to take you to my heart, my mind, which is Vrindavan, and embrace you there. And the gopis embracing Krishna in their heart. But what is their heart? Their heart is Vrindavan. They want to be with Krishna there. That's where their heart is at. to see Krishna in his beautiful form as a coward boy and associate with that form of his without all the opulence and without all the fanfare around him. So, so Lord Chaitanya's mood in looking at Lord Jagannath from that distance, just like the gopis are looking from a distance, embracing him within his heart, embracing them, Krishna within their hearts. So that's where the Chaitanya Lila and Krishna Lila really converges here. And of course, during the Ratha Yatra, that's the same mood is going on. We're taking Lord Krishna back to Vrindavan, back to his heart. Um, so just 1 minute, I'm gonna end here. A takeaway point. Yeah, we're hearing here about intense attraction, and it's highly glorified. Now, Krishna himself comes to experience this attraction which the gopis have, and through the passages of Lord Chaitanya, we can fully enter into what's going on here. Now, but it may seem very foreign to us in so many ways. Like they are so attracted, but it's durapam, it's very difficult to achieve. So what do we do with that? How can we relate to this? So one thing we have to really understand is that attraction to Krishna is actually our natural state. Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, why have you deviated? I want you to be attracted to money, to fame, to family, to power. I'm grooming you to be my successor and be attracted to whatever I'm attracted to. But instead you are attracted to our enemy, to Lord Vishnu, how have you become so deviant? And Prahlad says, I have not become deviant. Actually, just like a magnet naturally attracts iron, or vice versa, a piece of iron is naturally attracted by a magnet. Similarly, our actual original state of consciousness is to be attracted by the Lord. And we see if we just like iron, what does iron really need to do to be attracted by a magnet? This needs to be in its proximity. Now, if iron is covered by dirt, it may not be so quickly attracted, but it's still, even covered by dirt, it will be attracted by the magnet. So we just have to be near Krishna. We have to be close to Krishna. We have to worship him. That's called upasana in Sanskrit. One of the meanings of worship is upasana, is to sit close by. So we have to come into proximity of Krishna in our worship and in our chanting. And in this way, our natural state of attraction will naturally awaken. Just like a piece of iron will naturally be attracted to the magnet in its proximity. So although it may seem far away, it's just a matter of remaining close to the magnet, close to Krishna, and that attraction is there, and it will awaken more and more. And we can take heart in that, and we can see from the gopis what that perfected state of attraction looks like, and appreciate it, and worship it, and put it on the altar of our aspirations. So thank you so much. Sorry, I went a little bit over time. Any comments or questions, reflections, corrections?
Thank you very much, Vasudev Prabhu. Very nice class. Classic Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
I was thinking when you were describing Gopi's feelings for Krishna, I was thinking of the feelings that I experienced when I was 16. I had a big crush on a girl and I was fully absorbed in that. And I was thinking, yeah, I was literally forgetting myself. But so what is the difference qualitatively in what I felt when I was 16 and the feelings that Gopi have for Krishna? How can we avoid drifting into comparing Gopi's feeling to mundane things that are available to us when we're 16 especially?
Yeah. So it resembles the same thing. Uh, that's why it's compared. Prema is compared to gold, but lust or selfish desire is compared to iron. So they're both metal, so they look somewhat similar, but it's a gulf of difference between iron and gold, of course. So the difference being that the gopis love is selfless. They care really only for the happiness of Krishna. They also know that Krishna is fully happy only in Vrindavan. The, Krishna is also always longing to go back to Vrindavan, just like he's also in separation. So they just want to bring him back to Vrindavan so he can be fully happy. And their love is described. The Krishnadas Kaviraj he cites this verse that when Krishna goes out herding the cows, the gopis are constantly thinking of him. They're thinking how his feet are so soft, and he's walking on the paths and the sharp rocks and thorns, and must be hurting his feet, and that gives them the greatest pain. So they're not just thinking of their own selfish enjoyment. They're thinking of making Krishna happy. That is there. And if they have to suffer to make Krishna happy, then they're fine with that. But they long to make Krishna fully happy, and they know that he can only be fully happy in Vrindavan.
There's no selfishness there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although it may appear to, just like iron looks like gold, gold is different. It's a whole different substance.
Thank you, Prabhu. Jeffrey Eckler says, interestingly, though, gold is not magnetic. LOL.
Yes.
No, selfish. Gold is not selfish. Thank you, Jeffrey Prabhu. LOL. OMG. Okay, Gail has her hand up.
Hare Krishna, Vasudev Prabhu, and everybody. Yeah, actually, it's just a comment. When you were saying that we just have to stay in the proximity of Krishna, and we too will experience that attraction. It just reminded me of something that I heard from another speaker just a few days ago, that in this Krishna consciousness process that we're engaged in, little drops wear away the stone, So even though it might seem so incredible, even unbelievable, that we'll ever experience that kind of attraction to Krishna that the gopis do, simply by, continuing our offenseless chanting and hearing, on a daily basis, especially at the same time every day, those little drops will wear away the stone of our, unattractiveness to Krishna. It's just the regularity of it, even though it seems so impossible right now. Anyway, so you reminded me of that.
Yeah, my spiritual master, Holiness Kadamba March, would sometimes encourage us, saying like, sometimes we feel like we're so far away, but sometimes we also forget how much attraction also we do have to Krishna. What we have. For example, you would say, try to not chant. I would say, Gail, try to not chant for a whole day.
No
Don't
problem.
think of Krishna for a whole day. We're not able to do it. Like it would be very hard for many of us, most of us, to not spend a day without thinking of Krishna, praying to Krishna, chanting Krishna. Like we even find devotees who leave Krishna consciousness externally, but they just cannot somehow cannot stop thinking of Krishna, even in the heart. There, externally they might not even practicing. So we do have attraction, we do have attachment. We just have to increase it. And of course, there's different kinds of attraction to Krishna. If we want to develop this particular attraction the gopis have, we have to follow their footsteps. There's no other way. We have to really from appropriate sources with appropriate qualifications, hear about their attraction. And by hearing about the gopis and the residents of Vrindavan, we can develop that same bhava, and tat bhavam. It's described here in that verse, the ecstatic mood of absorption they have. And by hearing about it, and by following the
Thank you.
process Srila Prabhupada gave us, we can uh, imbibe that same mood and attain Krishna.
Thank you, Vasudev
Oh,
Prabhu.
the curtain is coming. I was just going to say that that was very encouraging to remind us that, you know, we do have what, you know, it's.
Janitai is about to blow the conch.
Oh,
Gail, please stay for the afterglow. Please, we want to hear that.
no, just that we do remember him every day and we want to, and we feel bad if we don't.
Yeah, try not to, like Vasudev Prabhu said. Horror movie. It's a horror movie. All right, Krishna. Thank you, Vasudev Prabhu.
Thanks.
Okay, darshan time. Turn on your cameras if you can. Chai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Muralidhar Shri Guru Chandra. Did you see how Vasudev Prabhu was looking at the deities? That was the look of love. Vasudev Prabhu, thank you for showing us how it's done. It's so inspiring. Thank you. Do you have a few minutes for it to stay during the afterglow, Vasudev
Yes.
Prabhu? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Would anyone like to ask a question or share a reflection? Please go ahead, unmute yourself. Okay, I don't see volunteers. So, Vasudev Prabhu, would you like to summarize? Very, very high subject matters today. We need a summary.
Yeah, so we hear about the attraction of the gopis to Krishna. They seeing him after a very long time. They curse the creator for having eyelids because for them a moment not seeing Krishna appears like a millennium. And if when they see Krishna, uh, even though it may be a very, very long time, that appears to be like a moment to them. So for them, it's a big deal not seeing Krishna for just a fraction of a second. So they have intense attachment, intense absorption. Krishna himself glorifies this, and in the mood of Mahaprabhu, he experiences this when he sees Lord Jagannath. That's exactly what he's experiencing, what the gopis are experiencing there. And in the beginning, he wanted to embrace Lord Jagannath, but then he had to restrain himself, just like the gopis had to restrain themselves. So he's there, he's standing from a distance away at the Garuda Stamba, the pillar where Garuda is. It's quite far away from the Jagannath deities. And from there on, he's within his heart, he's embracing the Lord and taking him to Vrindavan within his heart. So yeah, these were some points. And yes, that attraction is natural to us. It may appear a little foreign and extreme in some ways, but it's actually natural to us to just like a piece of iron is naturally attracted to a magnet. Similarly, we have an actual natural attraction to Krishna. We just have to um, yeah, be with Krishna. We just have to uh, awaken again to Krishna consciousness, being aware of Krishna through our worship, through our chanting, through our prayer, and so on.
Thank you, Vasudev Prabhu. Stephanie, followed by Gail. Please.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for class.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I was just thinking that exactly what you said. It's almost, I can't even imagine. Like the only way I could really think of it's maybe like a child-mother relationship, not seeing, like longing for that. But even right, like your high school first love, they even say like after time, it'll heal. You won't even think of the person. So yeah, just it's very interesting and something to really think about. And I pray one day, my love gets there. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Yes. Yeah, sometimes it's said that the love of a mother for a child is what comes closest to the love of God experienced by exalted devotees.
Thank you. Gail?
Hare Krishna. This when you were describing the fact that Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, which is Krishna, had to restrain himself, while he was at the stamba, while he was standing there to restrain himself, right? Like the gopis were restraining themselves. So I understand that he came to experience that love of the gopis, right? But when the gopis were restraining themselves, I think it was out of their sense of chastity. What would the community say? What would their families say? But in Lord Chaitanya's case, what was really impelling that self-restraint?
Well, it's just not appropriate etiquette to, like, let's say, Gail, you like walk, come into the temple of Radha Muridar, just walk onto the altar and embrace the deity. I'll be there with, like, well, if you do it, okay, but if anyone comes in to embrace the deities, I'll be like, get out, no one touches the deities. That's the etiquette. I don't know you, I don't know who you are, so you can't, that's why that etiquette has to be observed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So Lord Chaitanya also felt, yes, that's not appropriate to just walk on the altar and embrace the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, even if he had the qualification to do it, right? I mean, he couldn't set such a bad example.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. We see Bhima Prabhu's camera is on. Is that an indication of wanting to glorify Krishna? Eyelids, that's a curse. So what are those glasses? Is that a blessing, Bhima Prabhu, the glasses you're
No,
wearing?
no, it's to keep me uh, in the illusion of viewing the world with rose-colored glasses. That way, if you're wearing rose-colored glasses, um, every flag is a red flag, so to speak. Um, all I've got to say is we have to understand something about this attraction to Krishna. And basically, only two things in the always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, of course. Always remembering Krishna is always looking for some kind of devotional service. We have to be engaged in this material world with all our senses. And then with engaging that with sincere endeavor and not committing any offenses, Krishna from within the heart reveals himself. He makes himself known. As Vasudev was saying, it's automatic. It's already there. This is a great solace for us all to understand that we're already there, deep, 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 deep down inside, and we just have to shovel. We just have to keep shoveling. And sometimes we can pray, Krishna, bring it on. Give me what I need. This is a very important prayer by Queen Kunti. Let these calamities come again and again. So if you can sit down and say, come on, Krishna, let's get this underway. Make me reveal these things to me. Um, hold on. Then all that is expedited. And when, as with these sunglasses, then your vision is changed from within, and you can see clearly without that taint of material desire. Because what Krishna will do is he'll let the dogs of the modes out after you, and they will hunt you down, and they will drag you down, and then you will see what it is to turn away from Krishna. So don't let us have the courage to say, Krishna, whatever it is that you want to do, that you think is necessary, your will be done. If we can do that and have the courage to take the onslaught that will soon come, then all this hankering that we wish that we had will be presented to us on a golden platter. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bhima Kaviraj. Thank you. Wasn't that poetic, Vasudev Prabhu?
Yeah, very poetic. It's a very challenging prayer to pray. Hridayananda Maharaj, he says that, I haven't heard him say this directly. My spiritual master often quoted this, that he used to pray to Lord Nrsingadev, please purify me. And he still prays to Lord Nrsingadev to please purify him, but gently.
Yeah, that's a tough prayer to Nrsingadev.
What do you think about that, Bhima Prabhu?
I heard that same story, and there's a pujari who I guess in India who is actually the main pujari for Nrsingadev and in Mayapur. Um, and he said somebody mentioned it to him, and he said, we don't have to pray for purification from Lord Nrsingadev. You're asking for a lot when you ask for Nrsingadev to purify you. He goes, you can always ask Lord Chaitanya. He will give you it. And then if Lord Chaitanya is a little rough, which he can be, remember he had that Sudarshan chakra out for Jagaya Madai. Then we pray to Nityananda. And Nityananda, hell, he'll go into a bar with you to drag you out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Traditionally,
the, yeah.
yeah, traditionally, our
Go on.
sampradaya for that kind of purification of the false ego, we pray to Lord Nityananda, Balaram. Lord Balaram is a plow, and I guess in your farm, Bhima Prabhu, you must be plowing once in a while. Like
He has a tractor named Kubja.
the plow prepares the heart for the seed of bhakti to really flourish. So that's why I said that some sort of asanamura, kabe tuchahabe, oh Lord Nityananda, haha Prabhu, kabe habe Nityananda, karuna haibe. Some sort of asanamura, kabe tuchahabe. Lord Narottam Das Thakur pray, oh Lord Nityananda, when will I achieve your mercy? And by your mercy, the deep impressions of my material existence become insignificant. And the deep-rooted desires, that deep-rooted false identification, when will that become insignificant? When I get your mercy. So yes, and Lord Nityananda's mercy is very Lord Nityananda is very kind, and he may purify us, but he's very kind and very tolerant and very accepting of us, despite whatever we have, as long as we are a little bit sincere.
But that plow that he has is so hard and pointy.
Yeah, yeah, there will be some pain involved for sure. Yes, it's unavoidable.
Yeah, that's because we're lazy, or just what Prabhu once said. He was asked this question: why does a wake-up call have to be so painful? And he said, because we're lazy. It won't be a gentle wake-up call.
Who said
Nobody's
that?
gonna whisper in your ear.
Who said that?
Ujjwat Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's disciple,
Oh,
he was giving class at the Bhakti Center, and one devotee asked him, why does it have to be painful all the time? Why can't it be gentle? Why is it such a stressful experience all the time? And he made big eyes, looked at that devotee and said, because we're lazy. That's why. So it's necessary sometimes.
well, I guess also because the conditioning is very deep. I mean, if you're very sincere, but the conditioning is so deep, you might need like more than a gentle, shake to shake you out of it.
Yeah, gentle love and shake from Lord Nityananda. Thank you, Vasudev Prabhu. Thank you very much. Everyone in this call will love you. We need you. Stephanie, is Sage available to complete the yagya?
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Sage. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.